Welcome back to the channel, everybody. Today, a bit more of a serious topic because we are looking at common injuries in Muay Thai and kickboxing, things that can plague you if you don't take care of yourself. I'm gonna list out 6 today that I've had lots of issues with, and I'm gonna teach you how to make sure these don't happen to you. All right, common injuries that you're gonna see time and time again over a mass number of people if you train consistently in Muay Thai and kickboxing. Really unavoidable when you do any activity to take some amount of damage, but we want to minimize that. So the first one that you're gonna find that is gonna start getting injured or hurt are the wrists or the hands. Both of these make a lot of sense that they're gonna take a lot of impact and therefore damage because we're constantly hitting things. We're slamming into hard objects. Tip number 1 to make sure that your wrists stay safe is to wrap them, obviously, but that's fairly basic. I want to give you an additional tip, something that I've used throughout the years. Instead of just taking the full hand wrap and going around and around and around and then calling it there are 2 options. You take hockey tape before you apply your boxing wraps and you go for 2 or 3 little strips right around the lower hand down to the upper wrist. If you lock in a little bit there and all of a sudden your wrist mobility is very limited, it helps so much. In addition, or alternatively, you could wrap your hands with the boxing wrist wraps and then go over top with a couple extra loops with that hockey tape. For me, about 10 years ago, all the way up to about 5 or 6 years ago, my left wrist was constantly aching. And sometimes even picking up something like a shovel would just irritate it so bad that I just was like, okay, I can't do anything, any form of manual labor. And then using this hockey tape, I managed to get rid of it to the point now where I have not felt anything injure me in probably 5 years in this wrist area. Of course, you also want to make sure that when you punch, your wrist is straight, you're not doing anything funky, but hopefully most of you guys already know that. The knuckles can be a little bit more difficult because a lot of times people don't want to invest in new gloves. And really that's what you have to do. If you're finding that your knuckles are starting to get sore after every training session, spend the $100, $200, go get a new pair of gloves, and don't necessarily get the same one that everybody else has. You need to experiment with a variety of gloves. Maybe you can borrow one of your buddy's gloves, next week borrow another buddy's gloves, try out the different brands, try out the different models and see which one works for you. I have 1 or 2 pairs only, which keep my knuckles pain-free. Anything else, I throw them on. Within about 20 minutes, I'm going, oh, my knuckles, just because the pressure that it applies is different with my hand shape. The next very common injury, something that I struggled with for years, is aggravation to the neck. It was so bad for me that there was a point where all I could do looking to the right was this. That's as far as my neck went. My left was fine, I could go this direction, but my right would stop about there. Now I can get it all the way over. What did I do to make sure that I'm taking care of this? Well, number 1, before I did clench work, proper stretching, proper warm-up, same as on the cool down. I also used cervical traction as something to really help elongate my neck and make sure I got the proper curve back because I was starting to get a little bit more of a hunch from that style that we use, but we want to be up here and we want that curve. And the sponsor actually of today's episode has a tool perfect for helping you in this area. We are talking about Usui's Cervical Traction Red Light Therapy Pillow. This thing is fantastic. You simply lay down on the ground and you place this right below your neck. It's gonna help increase the arch there, which is fantastic, and it has the red light therapy coming out of the middle. Let me actually turn this on for you just so you can see it there. Fantastic. That's it. Throw it on 15-20 minutes every couple days on this, and you are going to notice a difference. You're going to notice a release of pressure. That's what I have noticed when I utilize cervical traction. Right now, for the low price of $100, plus you'll get my 20% off coupon code, you can pick up this pillow using promo code GV20. I'm going to put a link to this product down in the description below. The basics that you need to know about this product is cervical traction is an effective therapy for neck pain and tension relief. It can provide you immediate relief from neck pain, and red light therapy can enhance the effectiveness of traction and truly contribute to the repair process. Plus, it's safe and requires no medication. Guys, the neck, once it's tight, once it's locked up, it's so difficult to deal with. Cervical traction was one of my main ways to return to healthy. I suggest you give this a try. One of the other common injuries that you will hear people dealing with in kickboxing or Muay Thai is getting smashed in the nose, getting that broken nose. How do we go about avoiding a broken nose in kickboxing or Muay Thai? Even if we're not fighting, if we're just training, we're at the gym, it still happens. I still hear about it all the time, especially at gyms where they spar hard. Well, very first thing you should be doing, tuck your chin. We just talked about how difficult it can be for your neck to be in this position, but being up here is going to equal the broken nose. So you got to balance it out. You got to use something like that pillow to readjust, but when you're sparring, you got to tuck your chin so that shots are coming off your forehead. It's something you've got to do. High guard to protect yourself. If you're going to be slipping, you got to be really good at it. I've been very safe throughout the years by just riding that high guard and keeping my chin tucked. That's all it can take to be safe. Next up, we are talking about back pain. Lower back pain in particular is the one that many people I know in the kickboxing world, including myself, have struggled with. One of the things that happens when we throw all the round kicks, I've been told, is the hip flexors get very tight. We engage them over and over and over, especially on those multiple round kicks. So as these tighten, we have everything connected, which rides up to the lower back. We've got to keep these loose. One simple stretch that has helped me so much. Get into this lunge position here, and you drop your hip towards the ground. But instead of just getting here and doing nothing with my body, before I drop, I'm going to tighten my back glute. Now I'm going to drop into it. The difference, if I relax my glute, I can get way down here. As soon as I squeeze, everything releases so much more. Hand in the air, and then if I want, I could either put my back foot on a chair or I could reach backwards and drag it up, and the stretch is just incredible. If you can work this one simple stretch before and after training, maybe 2 times a day, you're going to notice a world of difference. This is something that I have not stopped doing, and I have recovered fully from a back injury about 5 years ago. It plagued me for so long, and I keep up with this stretch so it does not return. Another very common injury is knees. The knees getting damaged. Now this could come in many forms. It's not like jiu-jitsu where people are putting you in ankle locks and potentially twisting and ripping ACLs or MCLs, but I have heard of many people, instead of getting kicked in the thigh, getting kicked in the knee, or they under pivot and destroy their joints. Make sure every time you throw a kick, you're opening up your foot so you're not putting strain on that knee joint trying to pivot, but have so much friction and tension building up through that knee. I can't even do it. It feels awful. I don't know how people throw kicks without pivoting. So you open up that pivot. In addition, if you're finding that your knees are already weak, you can do small little things like stand on one foot, hold something like a medicine ball, and just rotate from side to side, and you're going to feel your leg stabilize, just having to hold you in place, especially when you're getting dragged down by this ball. This is a motion which I worked, especially with my eyes closed, because it makes it that much more difficult. I worked this motion many times during my knee injury, and the doctors told me, Gabriel, probably 8 weeks to recover from both of them. I had injuries on both knees, and it took me 3 or 4 weeks because I was diligent on doing exercises like this and just rebuilding them. Even if you don't have an injury, you can still do these to make sure that everything's strong, so you're less likely to get injured. And in addition, making sure your thighs, your hamstrings, everything is very strong. You can do small motions like this. They look simple. You take a seat on the ground, you hug one knee to your chest, and just lift this leg as high as you can and hold for 5 seconds and then drop. Do that 5 or 6 times. You're going to start to feel your quad quaking, like shaking away from the difficulty of that motion, and all of that helps the health throughout the knees as well. The final issue, which myself and many other people have had, I've talked to them about it, is getting very sore feet, especially through the arch of the foot. This right here has been my saving grace. This is a simple lacrosse ball, one of the cheapest tools you're ever gonna get that can help you so much. You can roll out your back, you can roll out your glutes, but in addition, you can just place it on the ground and you can just go back and forward over those arches and just get them loosened up, because when we're constantly bouncing, moving around, slamming kicks into things, everything just naturally tightens. I love foot massages. I love getting them, just having somebody just work work away on the feet. And a lot of times I don't notice how sore they are until somebody gets their hands on them and I'm going, oh, so much pain. But I don't generally want to have make people touch my feet. So I prefer to do this. And I just had an injury the other day. My foot was just cramping so bad. I just took this, rolled it out for about a week, probably 5 minutes a day, just be sitting at the computer, just doing this as I was working on editing videos, and it makes such a massive difference. And like I said, that thing can help you so many other ways. Get it on your glutes, get it on your upper back, just a saving grace that only costs about $4. So fantastic variety of equipment that you can use in this episode to help you stay fit, to help you stay healthy and avoid those common injuries which plague so many people who decide to try kickboxing or Muay Thai. So let's call it there. I hope you guys enjoyed the episode. I'll see you back here soon for another video. And remember, as always, train hard.